Hey everybody, welcome to the Northwest Weather Podcast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brian McMillan here at Fox 13. We have traffic guru Adam Gerke joining us today.
Yes.
It is a Friday when we're taping this here,
Yes.
and so happy Friday to you.
We made it.
We did. I took a couple days off this week, which is always nice,
Right.
because then the week gets shorter.
That's true. That's true. And
Yeah.
the other thing we discovered this morning is it's Pizza Friday. You often feature school lunches in the 7:30 break that we do, or 7:30 traffic weather spot, right?
Yes.
And you would notice that there are a number of school districts that now are taking on the Pizza Friday.
Right. This is if you've ever watched our program,
Right.
and you know that Adam and I have celebrated Pizza Friday. In fact, it goes back to even before me, to like the MJ days.
The ancient times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ancient times.
I've been here that long. Yeah.
So I don't know, how many years would you say you've been doing it? Like
literally
10?
forever.
Maybe
And
more?
More than that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we look up the school lunches, and because it's always fascinating to see what the kids are eating.
Yeah.
And the Friday pizzas, the school districts are all, it feels like they're all coming together
They're
on
gravitating.
Pizza Friday.
If this can be our legacy, Brian.
Yes.
Then
Where
we got
I want every school in the entire state,
Yes.
at least in Western Washington, to have Pizza Fridays. And that will be Adam and my
That
legacy.
is the hallmark.
That's
That's
right.
that's the gold standard.
We'll see. All right. Well, we'll get into some of our weather and traffic headlines here
Yes.
this morning. And we're going to start with April so far. So I want to take a peek at how we've done so far for the month of April. And it has been kind of even, Steven. We've had a handful of cool days. We've had plenty of warm days in the mix as well. Hit 70 degrees 3 times. We've been in the low 50s a couple times as well. So this has been, don't you feel like, even without looking at the numbers, that this has been a pretty typical April for us?
It feels like a typical April.
Yeah.
We've had a mix of everything.
Yeah, we've had some soaking rain, sure enough. We've had some, light drizzle, all that stuff. Yes, the first half of the month, especially that first week of the month here, we had a decent amount of rainfall, which helped with our totals because really for most of the second half of the month, it's been pretty dry. I think in the end, we're going to end up a little bit below average. Average for the month is a little over 3 inches of rain. Right now, we're standing at about 2 1/3, but we'll get a little bit more rain as we get to Monday.
The bigger question is how does this impact our snowpack in the mountains, if at all? And what are we looking at in terms of fire season? So,
Exactly. So snowpack in the southern part of our state has been fine. Okay,
Yeah.
so the southern Yakima basins out towards the Snake, all those basins in the south end of our state and into Oregon are great. But you go a little north of that, that's where those snowpacks have been about 75% down to around 60%. So that has not been great. We haven't seen much snow over the past month up there.
Yeah.
Ski resorts are now closed for the most part, and yeah, so that's what we're looking at here for our rainfall. I don't expect much more snow up in the mountains, although we could get a little bit here and there. As far as our 70-degree days go, boy, yesterday was awesome, wasn't it? Today's going to be another great day with highs close to 70. So far, up to this point in the year,
How many?
Four 70-degree days. Today we'll make it 5 if we get there. I think we will.
All right.
We averaged 2 up to this point in the year. So we're running a little bit ahead of the game.
Above average. I like it.
If you're wondering, what year did we have the most 70-degree days up to April 24th? That was 2016. Bad fire year, if I remember right. We had 9 70-degree days up to this point. That's too many. That's too many this early. On top of that, I know a lot of you are dealing with allergies.
Oh, yeah.
I've developed those the past 3 years. I don't know what happened to my body, but all of a sudden now trees, they're getting me. It's those alder trees and the cedars, and it's just like, sniffly noses, the itchy eyes, all that stuff. And then after that, I'm fine.
And see, and that's the thing. Last year, the pollen was so bad. I don't know if you remember last year. There was a 1/4 inch of pollen caked on my roof.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And to get that off took forever.
You know when you can actually see it in the air?
Bloom. Yeah. So, but I'm with you on this. I actually had an allergy test just to see what would be the thing for me.
Right.
None of the trees registered, but my eyes and sinuses would tell you otherwise right now. So I'm with you in your camp, kind of going, what is going on here?
It's kind of wild, isn't it? And I was taking a look because there's all sorts of trees that we have here in the Pacific Northwest.
Sure.
And so if you're wondering what is it right now that is getting us, if you have cedar or junipers, alders, elms, birch, and poplar, so basically all
trees. Yeah.
Except for the month of April.
As you're looking
at
yeah.
Oh, man. And then as we get into mid-May, that's when the grasses really start to kick in. Of course, our grasses are growing like crazy, in May and June.
Yeah.
And if you get the hay fever, you get the grass pollens getting you. Oh yeah, just wait.
All that Kentucky blue ryegrass or bluegrass rye or Kentucky blue. That's
Kentucky blue. That is
a type of grass.
Kentucky bluegrass rye.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's
I thought
working on
that might be an actual band name.
It might be that too.
Let's talk about Survive the Sound. We have that coming up. We do this every year. Fox 13 is a sponsor of Survive the Sound. It's a really cool organization that teaches students all around Western Washington about salmon. And for salmon to have a chance at success, it takes community efforts. It takes behavior change on our part.
You mean I should stop pouring turpentine down the drains?
Yes, don't do that.
Yeah.
And so what happens is they release these salmon into the water.
These are digital
with
salmon.
trackers.
Real salmon.
Real salmon
Okay.
with trackers on them.
Yeah.
And they're named, okay? And I'm honored for, I think, the third year in a row now to have one of them named after me, Brian Mackerel. Abby's not here today, but hers is Abby Akoho.
Love it.
And Abby's, I don't know why, but hers is always good, and she wins every time, it feels like, and mine gets eaten by a seal. And that happens. It just happened. I don't know. I think this thing is rigged. But she wins every time. I'm like, come on.
I hit the Hood Canal Bridge again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happened last year.
Yeah.
This is a one-of-a-kind event. It combines science, art, technology, and education. It is free. You can go to Survive the Sound. Just type that into Google and join the Fox 13 team as well. And you can see how all of ours are doing. We also have Matt Smith, one of our anchors. Enviromat. Yeah. And the designs of these fish are so cool.
I seem to recall one year I was joining Poseidon or Neptune. The team, I think it was on Team Poseidon. We made it. We made it all the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
this is for these fish, it's a dangerous trek.
It is.
From our rivers all the way to the Pacific Ocean,
Yeah.
and they got to make it past some roadblocks. I mean, there's a lot of sea lions and seals that kind of camp out in some of these areas that they get stuck,
They know.
and then they get gobbled right up.
It's like hello lunch.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a really fun thing. Survive the Sound. Type that into Google and pick a team. Pick the Fox 13 team, and you know what? Pick my fish. Yeah, Brian Mackerel. There you go. Abby's not here, so she can't vouch for Spurs. She's fine. She's won it twice anyway. All right, let's get you some of your weather questions. And a big thank you to all of you who submitted some weather questions, emailed them in, or sent them on Facebook or X or on Instagram. We really appreciate those. First up, this one's from Dave Martins, and he wants to know, do you know Fox teams from other cities? He says, for example, we love the team at Fox 13, but we also love the team at Fox 10 Phoenix. Do you know any other Fox folks?
I do know a few others, and in fact, it's because in the world of traffic, there's a relatively small number of us that exist in this niche field, right? So there are a number of us that actually have met, or we've communicated over the time, but there's not a lot of information that we can, like Phoenix to Seattle, there's not a lot of data that I can really share that's relevant. But we do have stories that are relevant between the two. Like Phoenix, for example, was one that was really, they pioneered a lot of traffic camera stories initially where they were like speed cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Phoenix was one of the first cities that was to launch that. In fact, some of the companies that still run those systems are out of Phoenix. Phoenix has now done away with those cameras because they did it maybe in a way that the public didn't like. They were kind of doing gotcha technology. And so people were suddenly getting bills for speeding through areas they didn't know were being enforced by camera. So that doesn't exist in Washington State, but the companies that still run the cameras are in Phoenix. Kind of interesting. So sure, that would be one example.
Yeah, and I've been to conferences with all the other Fox meteorologists as well, so we all kind of have a similar connection and all that. We've met each other, some of us have, and sometimes people go from, let's say, this station here in Seattle to another Fox station, and this is a very small business, and we all we know somebody who knows somebody. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other fun thing is if you watch on the Fox Local app, you can actually see what the other markets are doing, and you can see how much they've stolen from us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, we were doing this thing, and then, Philadelphia, we're on to you. Yeah. So, seeing this one.
Ted Hoyland says, let me start by saying I have much love for you and Adam.
Oh,
that was very nice.
Thanks.
What I'd like to know is, do weather predictions get more emphasis, like worse than they really are, to get more viewership? And I would say at our station, the answer is no. Okay. At some stations, I can't speak for every station, but I would say, maybe,
Right.
I think we pride ourselves here at our station to keep things real and tell you how it's going to be. Of course, forecasts can be off sometimes because the science is not completely perfect, but we try to keep it real because we want your trust, right? We don't want to hype something up and then it doesn't happen because then you're not going to come back to us. So we even if we're unsure about something, we're going to tell you we're not completely sure about something because that's all a part of it.
And there's, we were talking about MJ earlier with the school lunch forecasts and all that. MJ used to call what is some would describe as macho forecasting.
Yeah.
Like some forecasters really go macho because if they take that big risk and they really it's going to be storm, it's going to be this and that, and they're completely, if they're right, it pays off. And then it's like, whoa, haha, I was right. If you're wrong, they just kind of blow it off and they roll with it. But it's to kind of drum up, it's to boost their own ego in a way, is the way she used to describe it. And I said that was interesting. Not a lot of macho broadcasting, not macho forecasting happening.
Exactly, and I mean that's something I really when I took over this weather team here, I wanted to make sure that was how we operate, right? We want to make sure that we are giving the right amount of alarm to something because when we do have to alert people that something big is coming their way, we want them to listen because it can be very dangerous.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, remember, that was maybe 2 or 3 winters ago, we had a really wicked snowstorm that moved through.
Yeah.
And I remember grocery stores were getting cleared out.
Yes.
And I went to a Trader Joe's, and I walked in, and I'm loading up my groceries too, and the gal at the register, she says to me, he's like, I think there's going to be snow. Do you really think it's going to happen? And I looked at her and said, oh yeah, this one's really going to happen. She's like, that's what they say about them all the time. I'm like, no, this one is really going to. But that was very true because the public had been kind of desensitized to it because of all the false alarms.
Yeah. And I will say, it's important to pay attention, especially when big events are happening. When you're talking about severe thunderstorms, like what happened, that watch that happened a few weeks back, and then snow, things like that. Make sure to pay attention to the forecast continually and as we get closer to the event, because we can always zero in much better as we get closer. One last question here from Diane. This is a question for both of us. Since conditions seem to change in minutes, how hard is it to keep up with the changes and get them to us? That is a great question. Traffic, I'm curious how you keep up with the changes.
It turns on a dime, but that's the way it has always been.
Yeah.
For me, the start was in radio, and when you're working, the difference between doing a traffic report for the radio and for a traffic report for the television station, they're different animals in the sense that with radio you have to be precise down to the second, and that's actually because you've got people in their cars listening in the traffic at that moment. When people are preparing for their day and trying to get out the door with television, it doesn't have to be as precise. The thing is I was raised on that precision, and so I'm still bringing that to this show. So it's still very quick. It's like if it happens, I've got to get it on and get it changed.
Yeah, and with us, we're always we're able to, at least at a TV station, we're able to pivot quickly. I feel like, and when you're talking about something like a big government organization like the National Weather Service, they're not able to pivot as fast. And so we're able to, if we see something different is happening, we're able to quickly turn that information around and get it to you. I mean, it can be within seconds.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a couple of us. Like that's why it's so great to have 2 meteorologists in the morning. When I have Abby and myself here, we can turn things so fast because somebody can be on the air, the other person's working on graphics, and boom, we get it right out.
I think that's one of the really kind of neat things about local broadcasting too that folks maybe don't realize is that we do have that ability to be as nimble as we are.
Yeah,
it's pretty darn cool.
Adam, what are some of your traffic headlines coming up?
Well, there's a couple big things that are happening right now. As a matter of fact, Chuckanut Drive, earlier this week, we saw a rock slide on Chuckanut Drive just north of Bow. Took the road out. The road is still closed at this point.
Huge rock
slide.
Huge.
20 feet high of rocks. And it's going to take them a while to get that figured out. They had the geotechs out analyzing the hillside, trying to figure out how are we going to shore this thing up. So no estimation as to when that's going to reopen yet. So that's still an issue if you were thinking of maybe going north. This next week, also through Bellingham, we're going to be seeing some lane closures in through Bellingham during the day between Chuckanut and Bellingham on I-5. So that makes things even more difficult if you're trying to just do something scenic to the north. To the south, closer to Lacey along State Route 510, in fact, between the Old Pack Highway and Rockrest Drive, there is actually a closure of 510 right now because just in the last 24 hours, there was a culvert that kind of gave way. And so the road has given way. No estimation as to when that is going to reopen. So bookending us north and south, we've got those two big issues going on.
And this is construction season.
It is.
So Yay! There's always construction season.
There's always construction, or there's always fish culverts that need to be repaired at this point or cleaned up. So that's
we literally have construction happening directly outside our building right now, so you can't miss it. Yeah. You can't, but it's important. It's important to get it done for sure. All right, Adam, to close things out. You have our favorite segment here, City of the Week, and I will be the guesser.
Okay.
And you will be give me the clues.
All right.
Here's how you play really quick. Adam's going to give some clues about a city here in Western Washington. I'm assuming it's in Western Washington. And you can guess at home and see if you get it before I do. Here we go.
You may get this in one. You may get this in none. We'll find out. This city/municipality is surrounded on 3 sides by notable mountains.
Okay.
I won't tell you the names of the mountains, but I will say that.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, there is no dry season to this city/municipality. It has a warm summer Mediterranean climate, though.
A warm summer Mediterranean climate. Okay, so this is
that's according to Wikipedia.
Okay, so so this is
yeah.
So it's a wet place. It is a it's a warmer and a wetter place.
In the summer, they claim it has a warm.
And it's surrounded by mountains.
Surrounded by on 3 sides.
On 3 sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Keep going.
All right. This once had a historical trolley that ran on the city's old railroad tracks. That actually kind of began in 2010, and during 2020, because of lack of funding and interest, they shut it down until further notice.
Okay. All right.
So it had this historical trolley.
Oh man.
All right. Home to, at one time or another, cartoonist Brian Bassett, Detlef Schrempf, Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro, and my favorite, Stop the Train, Patrick Monahan, lead singer of Train.
Okay.
Are you getting warm? You feeling?
I think I know.
I've got one more. I've got 2 more.
Okay, I think I know it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to write down with, but I have. Okay, keep going.
All right.
Keep going. Do you want me to guess? Or
Go for it. Let it
rip.
Okay.
Issaquah.
You see? I can't get one past you.
Yeah! Yes! Yes.
Yeah.
So, funny story. My wife
Yeah.
went to high school with Patrick Moynihan's wife.
That's why.
And in Issaquah, that was the one that got it for me.
Oh, man.
How about
Can't
that?
Stop the Train.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Stop the Train.
Issaquah's great.
It is great.
I love Issaquah.
And the 3 mountains, Cougar Mountain, Squawk Mountain, and Tiger Mountain.
Oh, man, I was not getting, I didn't know the trolley thing.
Yeah. They consider, by the way, those mountains are called the Issaquah Alps. I can't say they're the Issaquah Alps, though, if I'm trying to get
There's some great hiking over those mountains,
Fantastic.
too.
Or hang gliding or paragliding with Poo-Poo Point.
Yeah.
So I know people who've done that.
Have you hang glided before?
I have never, but as a kid growing up out in the area, there used to be a burger joint where you could actually watch them do their thing. It was so cool.
That is so cool.
I mean, yeah.
Adam, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And thank you for playing at home. I wonder if you got it before me. Let us know. And thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Northwest Weather Podcast. Stick around. We'll have another one coming up here soon. And enjoy this beautiful weather we have outside. Another 70-degree day in April. We got to love that. For now, have a great weekend. And we'll catch you guys soon.